In last class we studied about what is rest, what is motion, and we studied that rest and motion, they both are related to each other. Today we are going to study some types of motion. So the topics which we will cover today are: we will study about translatory motion, circulatory motion, we will study about rotatory motion, oscillatory motion, and vibratory motion. So our first topic is translatory motion. So first let us read out the definition of translatory motion. A body is said to be in a linear or translatory motion if it moves in a line in such a way that its every part moves through the same distance in same interval of time. So this is the basic definition of translatory motion. Now suppose if you are traveling in a train or if you are traveling by a car. So when you are traveling, when the car moves, then all the part of this car, or whoever is there in the car or the car itself, they all will move through the same distance in a particular period of time. That is called as the interval of time. It's not that one part will move faster, another part will move slower. It's not like that, but all will move in they will move through the same distance in same interval of time. Now this translatory motion, this is of two types. One is called as the rectilinear motion and curvilinear motion. Now what are these? First let us study about rectilinear motion. If a body moves along a straight line, its motion is called rectilinear motion. So here we have an example. You can see that this car, this is moving in a straight line. So this is in a rectilinear motion. And just we will see what is curvilinear motion. An object is said to be in curvilinear motion if it moves along a curved or circular motion. So example of this is, suppose if you are traveling in a train, you must have seen that sometimes the tracks, they are curved, especially whenever you are crossing across any hill, or then you can see, or some higher region, you can see that the train, they have the curved path. Then this can be called as a curvilinear motion. Here one more example is given. This is a roller coaster. You can see that the path over here, the entire path is curved. Here you can see that this is completely circular curved path are here. It's not in a straight line. So all these are the example of curvilinear motion. Then next is your circulatory motion. So first let us read out this definition. An object is said to be in circular motion or circulatory motion if it moves around a fixed point in a circular path. In this motion, the distance of the moving object from a fixed point remains constant. Example is merry-go-round. So you all must have sat on a merry-go-round. Here you can see that there is a fixed point over here, and with a rod or with a string, person, they are tied, or they sit on the, as in the picture you can see that these children are sitting on horse, and when this moves around, then the distance of the moving object, means this moving object, that will be fixed throughout the motion. So what is the fixed point over here? This is the central point, and through this, the distance between this point and the central point, that will be remaining constant throughout the motion. And this in this motion, the object will keep on moving around this center point. So this is an example of circulatory motion. The next is our rotatory motion. If a body moves or spin about a fixed axis without changing the radius of its motion, it is said to be in rotatory motion. Example: movement of fan, spinning top, or motion of swings. So here this fan is moving around its fixed axis, and this is an example of rotatory motion. Now if we compare this, and here also the radius of its motion, it does not change, it will remain fixed throughout the motion. So now, but if we compare this rotatory motion with the circulatory motion, then we can see that they are more or less same, but we have a difference. There is a difference between circulatory motion and rotatory motion. To explain that, this diagram I've taken here, you can see that this moving fan, this is an example of rotatory motion. Now some lines are drawn, so this is the region A, this is called as the region A. This is made around the axis of this fan. Suppose this is the, this middle axis is there, and this point, this represents A. Then this point of the fan, suppose this represents B, and this, the tip point of the fan, suppose this represents C. So now these are the points which we have taken in this fan. Now let me read out this, what is the important difference between circulatory motion and rotatory motion. It is important to note that rotatory motion is different from circulatory motion. In rotatory motion, different parts of the rotating body move through different distances during the same time interval. So here you can see this A, this moves less distance. When this fan is rotating, the part which is near this axis, this moves less. This is moving less from its axis. Then if you see this point B, this is moving more as compared to A. And this C, this is moving at larger distance as compared to B and A. So different parts of the moving body, they have different distance from the axis during the same time interval. So here we have an important point. The part near the axis move a lesser distance than the part away from the axis. So this is our axis, this point is our axis. So point which is near the axis, this moves lesser distance as compared to the point which are away from the axis. As you can see that B and C, they are moving more, the distance is more as compared to that of A. So this is one very important difference between circulatory motion and rotatory motion. So in rotatory motion, the different parts of the rotating body will have different distance, will move through different distance during the same time interval. But in circulatory motion, that distance will be remaining constant, that will remain constant. Just now we studied in the previous slide. Here you can see in the distance between the moving object and the axis, this remains the constant in circulatory motion, but in rotatory motion that will be different for different parts of the moving object. So this is the main difference between circulatory motion and rotatory motion. Then we have oscillatory motion. Now what is oscillatory motion? When a body as a whole moves back and forth, we also call it as to and fro motion, about its mean position, then its motion is called as oscillatory motion. Like this pendulum, suppose it moves to and fro from its mean position, means it goes back and forth, then this kind of motion is called as oscillatory motion. To explain this more clearly, we have taken an example of a simple pendulum. This is a simple pendulum. Let me first tell you the parts of it. This is the rigid support through which this pendulum is fixed. So this is the bob of the pendulum. Now when you release this bob, this is the mean position, means this is the position in which the bob is at rest. Now suppose if you pull the string like this and release the bob, then what will happen? First from here, this bob will move to position A, then again it will come back to O and move to B, and then again it will move from here to here. So this kind of motion is your oscillatory motion. So let me repeat once again. This is the point where the bob is at the rest position. So when this bob's string is released, you can see that this bob is connected with a string. When it is taken, stretched from this point, and when it is released, what will happen? This bob's position will move. It will move from here to here, then again it will go from here to here. So this is how it will go to and fro. It will move back and forth. So this kind of motion is your oscillatory motion. Now one oscillation is defined as one complete to and fro motion about its mean position. Like here, if we take this bob, what is a complete when it is said to be in complete complete as one complete oscillation, when it will do, suppose this is the mean position. From O, this bob will go to A, then from A it will move back to B, it will go to B, and then from B to it will go back again to O. So from the starting position, when the bob comes back to its mean position, but it should cover both these extreme positions, then this motion, this complete, is called as one oscillation. So from O to A, then from A to B, and again back to O, this complete is called as one oscillation. And the time taken by a simple pendulum to complete one oscillation is called its time period. This is denoted by T. So this is all about simple pendulum. The next kind of motion which we will study is what is a vibratory motion. So vibratory motion is a type of oscillatory motion. This is also a type of oscillatory motion, and a body is said to exhibit vibratory motion if a part of the body moves back and forth about its mean position. The movement of strings in musical instruments like guitar or sitar is an example of vibratory motion. Vibration produces sound. Example, like those who play tabla, you must have seen when you beat tabla, then this tabla's surface first goes, it will go to and fro. This also moves to and fro, means it will go inside or then it will come outside. So but there is a difference, that how this oscillatory motion is different from this vibratory motion is that this produces some sound. This vibration produces sound over here. Example, those who play tabla must have seen that when you beat tabla, then it goes, its vibration will produce sound. So these are all different kinds of motion which we have studied today. In next class we will study periodic motion, we will study about non-periodic motion, then multiple motion, rolling motion and random motion.